And thanks for joining us here on The Pulse. This afternoon, Chinese national accused of grave mining offences has finally been placed behind bars for the next 4.5 years. Aisha Huang, or Aisha Huang, if you want to call her as such, has been standing trial for undertaking mining operations without license, facilitating the participation of some persons engaged in these illegal mining operations, and also the illegal employment of foreigners and entering Ghana while prohibited from re-entry. Well, today, a court actually decided to sentence Ms. Huang to jail for 4.5 years. James Avejim, my colleague, has been monitoring all of that for us, and we've been finding out from James how the judge actually arrived at this decision.
So the Chinese national was sentenced on 4 counts of undertaking mining operations without license, facilitating the participation of persons in mining operation, and on a 3rd count of illegally employing foreigners to undertake in mining operation, and the 4th count of re-entering the country without permit. If you remember, Aisha Huang was repatriated from the country earlier, but she found her way back into the country, and that was part of the count that the judge pronounced her judgment on. Now, in her judgment, her ladyship, Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, imposed a 3,000 penalty unit on the accused for count 1 and 2. 4.5 years in terms she's not able to pay the fine, and an additional 4.5 years. She was handed a 12-month prison term on count 3 and 1,000 penalty units and a 3 prison term in default on count 4. All sentences are expected to run concurrently, which means that she's going to be serving 4.5 years in prison and also pay a 4,000 penalty unit, which would amount to some 48,000 Ghana cedis. Now, the judge also ordered that after she has completed her mandatory prison terms, she will be repatriated back to China. In a judgment again, the judge noted that due to the time Aisha Huang committed the offense, she was sentenced based on the old Minerals and Mining Act 2006 Act 703, which imposes a maximum of 4-year jail term for engaging in illegal mining. This old law was replaced in 2019 by the Minerals and Mining Act 2019 Act 995. Now, as part of the judgment, the judge noted, especially on count 1 and 2, that Aisha Huang, as part of her operations, forcefully grabbed land from landowners and farmers. In fact, her modus operandi was that she approached farmers, tell them that she wants their land for illegal mining, and before the farmers get back to her for a response, she goes ahead to clear the land of all vegetation. After the judge finished reading her judgment before sentencing, counsel for the witness, Aisha Huang, actually rose to his feet to plead with the judge, in fact, pray with her to consider the fact that if Aisha Huang is in prison, she is going to be a financial burden on the country, as the prison authorities would have to be taking care of her. His second prayer was that she has already spent about a year and a month in prison already, and so the judge ought to take that also into consideration. But one of the state attorneys also rose to her feet and argued out the fact that the activities of Aisha Huang actually took away the livelihood of a lot of communities. She has polluted a lot of drinking water in many communities, has taken over the farms of many others, taking away their livelihood. And so, in her view, there should be offences that should warrant a maximum punishment under the laws that the judge ought to issue her punishment. And so, after all of the pleas from both sides, the judge went ahead to announce her punishment, giving her a total of 4.5 years in prison and to pay some 48,000 Ghana cedis as penalty.
For Joy News, my name is James Savage.
And of course, back in the studio here, we're also providing you some updates as the Deputy Attorney General, Alfred Tuah-Yehoah, has been providing some level of updates on what next for Aisha Huang after serving the jail term. Well, he says that government plans to repatriate the Chinese national after serving his sentence.
Yes, we are satisfied. You know, this offense was committed before 2019. That was between 2015 and 2017. And the law then was that the maximum sentence should be 5 years. So having been in custody for over 12 months, based on our constitutional provision on which imposes a duty on the judge to consider the number of years that person has spent in custody, we think that 4 years, 6 months is reasonable in the circumstance.
I mean, there was this point the judge took time to explain why she could not apply the new legal regime, the 15 to 25 years that many are aware of. Are you not worried the kind of signal that position sends to those who are perhaps have engaged in illegal mining before this new regime came into force?
That's the position of the law. If you look at our constitution, Article 19(6) is to the effect that if you arrest someone and you charge him for committing an offense some time ago, if you are able to prosecute him successfully and he's to be sentenced, the sentence then should be the sentence that you can use. You cannot use the new regime. And so far the sentence then was to the fact that the maximum of 5 years, we think that's the right position of the law. We can also not amend our constitution at this stage, but that's the law even worldwide. At the time they commit the offense, the punishment there is what you are supposed to be given when you are convicted for that offense. We are aware of it. That's why we came to court, and we knew that the maximum that we could get would be 5 years.
I mean, what does this mean for the fight against illegal mining? And this is an individual who was tagged as being a very influential person in the fight against the menace.
Yes, Aisha Huang, as we all know, she's someone that has gotten her name in the media a lot. Today, she's come to the end of the road. We're able to successfully prosecute her. She's going to spend 4 years, 6 months in custody. It should be a lesson to the others that you may be engaging in illegal mining, but when your time comes, the law will deal with you in accordance with what we've had. So it's a fight that we have not won. It's a fight that is a continuous one. As I just said, we all need to take part in the fight. Aisha is going today. The next time we come to court, if others have committed similar offenses, they also have their day in court. But let me also make this appeal to the public. This fight is not a fight of the Attorney General. This fight is not a fight of the police service. It's our fight. If you have any evidence to the effect that an individual, group of individuals, or an entity is engaged in illegal mining, don't sit in your house. Offer that evidence to the security agency so that we can follow up and then prosecute them as we've done in this particular case.
I mean, would the state be able to ensure that she's deported? We know she has had issues going out and coming back into the country.
After her sentence, if she's able to serve her sentence, she will be deported in accordance with law.